Hey everyone, and welcome back. So today in my hand we got the original iPhone SE. A bit of a throwback actually. It is the first generation. And the question is, how does this thing really hold up in 2025? Now, full disclosure, this iPhone SE is, well, pretty unique for me in 2025. It's definitely not my main productivity device. I mean, let's be real, I still can't run my daily work and all that demanding stuff solely on a phone this size. That's what my newer Pro iPhone is for. You know how it is. But, and this is a big but, I found a really special place for this SE. I use it as like a fun phone or sometimes, a bit of a detox device. And for that, it's been surprisingly great. So let's dive in. All right, let's talk design. And honestly, this is where the SE first gen just, shines for me. Even now, it's got that classic iconic iPhone 5 body, those matte chamfered edges, the inset stainless steel Apple logo on the back. It's just so comfortable for one-handed use. It's incredibly light too, just 113 grams. I'm a huge fan of Apple's compact phones, and this one, man, it's the OG. And what I really love is that the DNA of these flat edges, Apple brought it back and still uses it on the newer iPhones. It just feels right. It's a design that's nearly identical to the iPhone 5 and 5S, which means cases for those older models fit perfectly too. This kind of design longevity is pretty rare. It looks classic but doesn't feel entirely out of place next to modern devices, at least aesthetically. The display itself, it's a 4-inch Retina display and IPS LCD with the resolution of 1036 by 640 pixels. Now, yeah, it's small by 2025 standards. Reading long articles or watching cinematic videos maybe not ideal. You might feel like you're squinting a bit, like at a postage stamp, as one reviewer put it. And the brightness, while typically 500 nits, isn't quite up there with modern screens, so direct sunlight can be a bit of a challenge. But for quick glances, scrolling social media, texting, the stuff I use it for, it's perfectly fine. And the trade-off for that pocketability, totally worth it for me. It's the kind of phone you forget is even in your pocket. And then there's this beauty. Yes, a 3.5mm headphone jack. Seriously bro, in 2025, this is like finding a unicorn for just plugging in my wired headphones and listening to music without any dongles. It's fantastic. This was actually the last iPhone to feature a standard 3.5mm stereo headphone jack, which is kinda wild to think about. For a fun phone where I might just want to listen to music or podcasts, this is a huge plus, something even the newest, fanciest phones don't offer without an adapter. Some folks are even using these as dedicated music players for that very reason. Okay, so what's it actually like to use the iPhone SE first gen in 2025? Performance-wise, it's rocking the Apple A9 chip with 2 gigs of LPDDR4 RAM. Now that's the same chip that was in the iPhone 6s, so it was pretty powerful back in its day, launched originally with iOS 9.3. For what I use it for, social media like Instagram or X, scrolling some websites for quick info, calling, texting, it's surprisingly capable. It's not lightning fast like my main phone obviously, and you might hit a few stutters here and there if you push it, especially on heavier websites. But for these light, non-demanding tasks, it hangs in there. Some users report it's fine for YouTube and even light banking, though I'd be cautious with very sensitive apps. The big thing though is the software. The iPhone SE first gen, its journey ended with iOS 15, or even the rumored iOS 26 that some reports are talking about for future OS naming. Anyway, point is, you're not getting the newest features that came after iOS 15, but here's something pretty impressive. Apple supported this A9 based phone through 7 major versions of iOS, from iOS 9 all the way to iOS 15. And it was still getting security updates for iOS 15.8 point something well into 2025, like the last one mentioned in documentation. iOS 15.8.4 was released around March 31, 2025. So for the start of this year, it's been technically secure, which is pretty amazing for a phone released back in March 2016. This extended support is a real testament to Apple's ecosystem. And of course, app compatibility, that's where things get a bit tricky. Most of my basic apps, the ones I use for fun, they still work. Some users report that 99% of their apps work, with a few exceptions like ChatGPT, which can often be used in a browser anyway. But, as apps get updated, they might start requiring newer iOS versions. We've seen it happen, like WhatsApp eventually dropping support for older iOS versions. So while an app like WhatsApp that I need for chat, which requires iOS 15.4 or higher, should work for now since this phone has up to iOS 15.8.4, there's always a chance an update could break compatibility. It's a bit of a gamble long term, and some things like newer banking apps might already be off limits due to security requirements on outdated OS versions. This sweet spot of being old but still functional is definitely closing. Alright? Battery life. With any phone this old, you gotta talk about the battery. Lithium-ion batteries, well, they degrade over time. It's just basic physics. If this thing is still on its original battery from 2016, yeah, it's probably not gonna last you very long. I personally still get 2-3 hours of moderate use, and that might be generous depending on the battery's health. For my use case, as a secondary fun phone that I'm not glued to, it's less of a critical issue. I'm not expecting it to be an all-day champion. In fact, if I'm using it as a detox device, the shorter battery life can actually reinforce that idea of not being on it constantly. It creates a natural stopping point. Now, the good news is you can still get replacement batteries. I actually haven't bothered with this one yet, but if you want, you can find them on Amazon for around like $19 for the battery itself. Or you can get kits with tools for a bit more, maybe $30-40. Some folks even talk about slightly higher capacity aftermarket ones, though finding a legit good one can be tricky and you want to be careful about quality. So if you're willing to swap it out or get one that's had a fresh battery put in, you can definitely breathe some more life into it. But yeah, keep expectations in check if it's an old battery. Turning off cellular data when you don't need it can also help stretch it out. Let's talk about the camera. It's a single 12 megapixel shooter on the back. No fancy triple lenses or anything here. And you know what? For casual photos, especially in good light, I think it's still pretty capable. For me, and this is totally a personal thing, the photos can have this like retro tone, especially when I compare them to shots from newer iPhones. It's less processed, maybe a bit more raw feeling. One discussion I saw noted that the 2016 SE photos are very raw with almost no processing compared to modern iPhones. And I actually kind of dig that in a positive way. It's got a certain charm. It's not trying to over sharpen or oversaturate everything. It's not going to compete with the latest iPhones in terms of dynamic range or low light. It doesn't have a dedicated night mode or the deep fusion processing that even slightly newer iPhones use. So it will struggle when it gets dark. And the autofocus, while okay, isn't as snappy as newer phones, especially in tricky low light conditions. The HDR capabilities are also noticeably different from more modern phones. But for just capturing a moment, a quick snap for social media or something for that nostalgic feel, I think it does a decent job. It's not trying to be a pro camera, and for a fun secondary phone, it's more than enough for me. It's about appreciating that different, less computationally intensive look. Some people are even trying to get that vintage camera vibe from their old iPhones. So wrapping things up, how does the iPhone SE first gen really hold in 2025? Well, if you're looking for a primary phone, something to do everything on, honestly, probably not. There are just so many newer, more capable options out there, even budget ones or newer SE models like the SE second or third gen, which are way more powerful and still relatively compact. So the iPhone SE third gen, for instance, is only a bit larger, but has a much faster chip. But, and this is where my opinion comes in strong, as a secondary phone, a backup device, or like I use it as a fun phone or a digital detox tool, man, I think it's still very capable. It's a device that many still have a lot of respect for. A real small but mighty kind of phone from its era. It's unique in 2025 because of that super compact size. The classic design I absolutely love. That awesome 3.5mm headphone jack for my music. And yeah, even that camera with its kind of retro vibe for casual snaps. It's perfect for when I want to disconnect a bit or just need something small and simple for basic tasks like social media, quick web lookups, calls and texts, without getting sucked into a million demanding apps or games. The limitations like the smaller screen and older chip almost encourage more intentional use, if that makes sense. It's not begging for your constant attention in the same way a modern flagship might. You do have to be aware of the limitations. iOS 15 means app compatibility will eventually be a bigger issue. As 2025 progresses, the battery needs consideration, but for the right person with the right expectations, and for this kind of specific use, yeah, this little iPhone SE's first gen still has a certain charm and utility in 2025. It's still usable for the basics. So what do you guys think? Did you ever own an iPhone SE first gen? Are you maybe even still rocking one for certain things? I'd love to hear your stories and memories in the comments below. And as always, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this little trip down memory lane or found it useful, definitely hit that like button, subscribe for more tech reviews and deep dives, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.